On this show, strikes in Yemen, no Russian oil, and New Orleans attack.
West Coast Milblogger, with the latest news and conflicts around the world, shaping your reality.
Welcome to episode 1 of West Coast Milblogger's second season. I'm your host, Cyrus Emerson. Jumping right into American politics, Trump and Republicans have done it again, this time with immigration. As binge watchers of WCM know, Trump won 2024 because of voter boycott from the national legalization of cannabis crowd. Florida, on the front line of this battle, illustrated how Trump and Republicans can take both sides of an issue, shutting Democrats out. This time, Trump and Musk argued in the headlines, deciding some immigration is good while the border needs to be shut down. There are some minor changes, with the channel now posting 3 times a week. More on that after our AI correspondents share Creative Commons sourced journalism. A similar license with the AP would explode WCM's budget. Also, Voice of America cannot grant blanket usage in country. This leaves Iran state media and a Russian organization supposedly banned by the Kremlin as our primary news partners. However, we can West Coast editorialize with proper attribution.
Reporter Noah Waters, Honolulu, Hawaii. U.S.-UK strikes on Yemen to intensify Mideast insecurity, Iran warns. This story by Tasnim News Agency originally appeared on their website January 5th, 2025. Weather information added, propaganda language removed, and Western language added. Tehran, where it's 37 degrees right now, with poor air quality according to AccuWeather. The spokesperson for the Iranian Foreign Ministry condemned fresh military attacks by the US and the UK against Yemen, warning that such aggressive measures will aggravate insecurity and instability in West Asia. In a statement on Sunday, Esmail Baqai strongly condemned the new airstrikes that the American and British forces have launched on infrastructures in Yemen's northern province of Sada. He denounced the recurrent military attacks by the United States, the United Kingdom, and Israel on Yemen as an egregious violation of Yemen's national sovereignty and territorial integrity that contravene the principles of international law and the UN Charter. Baqai warned that such acts of aggression against Yemen will result in the spread of insecurity and instability in the West Asia region, a place where international shipping has already been disrupted by Houthis. Creative Commons License 4.0.
Reporter Amelia Fox, Olympia, Washington.
Breaking the chain. What the end of decades-long Russian gas transit through Ukraine means for Moscow, Kiev, and Europe. This story by Medusa originally appeared on their website January 3, 2025. This article has been cherry-picked and truncated. On January 1st, Russia's state energy giant Gazprom and Ukraine's energy ministry both announced the cessation of gas transit through Ukraine via the Urengoy-Pomary-Uzhhorod pipeline. In 2023, the pipeline carried more than 14 billion cubic meters of Russian gas to Europe, accounting for about 5% of the continent's demand. Replacing even this relatively small volume, however, won't be without its challenges. European countries will need to turn to more expensive gas and rely increasingly on the volatile liquefied natural gas (LNG) market. This comes as underground gas storage facilities are being depleted at record rates, exacerbating an ongoing energy crisis driven by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Over the past year, gas prices have climbed more than 50%, with the increases accelerating in recent weeks due to heightened demand amid colder weather. Commenting on the cessation of supplies through Ukraine, Gazprom said it no longer had the technical or legal ability to continue transit and blamed Kiev for the situation. Russia's foreign ministry added that the United States would be the primary beneficiary of the supply halt. Ukraine's energy ministry, however, called the end of the transit agreement a historic event, while President Volodymyr Zelensky described it as one of Moscow's greatest defeats. Open access granted by Meduza on war-related content.
Reporter Todd Cortez, Juneau, Alaska. Iran condemns New Orleans terror attack. This story by Tasnim News Agency originally appeared on their website January 4, 2025, and been West Coast Milbloggered. Viewers of the channel might have noticed more than 32,000 views for Friday Refrain, 24 New Years with celebrations featured around the world. One location, New Orleans, became the center of a gruesome attack. Another in Las Vegas, while From A to Z's video featured San Diego in that time zone because of its ties to the US Navy. Both attacks by military veterans. While the host of this show is also a veteran, and ideas about cannabis legalization to solve climate change have been demonized, From A to Z remains committed to freedom of expression through journalistic means to champion these views. The spokesperson for the Iranian Foreign Ministry condemned the deadly attack that took the lives of 14 people in New Orleans on January 1st. Asked by reporters about the fatal terror attack in the US, Esmail Bakai reaffirmed Iran's principled stance in condemnation of all types and forms of terrorism at any place and committed by any individual, group, or government. He also condemned the fatal terrorist attack in New Orleans by the elements linked with the terror group, expressing sympathy for the families of the victims. Creative Commons License 4.0.
Channel changes.
Big thanks to our now more than 8,800 subscribers on YouTube. From A to Z is now posting 3 times a week right here on West Coast Milblogger. Starting with our flagship show on Sunday night at 2200 hours, West Coast Milblogger with important world news coverage from a West Coast perspective. Wednesdays at noon on Burrow Descent, short story and poem videos. The Lords of Hemp series taking center stage at this time. Finally, to end your calendar week, Friday Refrain with specialized music playlists. We hope you enjoyed this episode of West Coast Milblogger. Remember to subscribe, like, and share on the many platforms the show is now available on. Keep it safe out there. Next up, Burrow Descent, Wednesday at noon, right here on West Coast Milblogger.